Hello and welcome back to Satisfactory. My name is Okada, and today we are going to finish up the product line that we've been working so hard on getting done, which are the crystal oscillators. And I've actually done some math between sessions and looking to the future, and I really decided that it's just not really a good idea to have the oscillators inside our computer building. I always knew that we were going to need more computers anyway, and I was being a little cheeky by stuffing it in there, but we were not too far off from needing those computers for things like supercomputers, and it would be kind of silly to put the oscillators in there now and then maybe have to move them out later. So it's going to give us a little bit more to work on today because we're going to need to build a building for the manufacturers, but that's fine. It gives us plenty to do, and that's awesome. But I wanted to talk about something else real quick before you skip ahead to see what's going on in the middle. Looking ahead at what we're going to need to do next, I made a kind of a realization. So what we really kind of need to do next is bring together the high-speed connectors. And I'm not a big fan of this recipe given our current setup because it's using circuit boards, which we are using a ton of right now. We're going to be using a lot more quick wires soon. We're not even producing cable, though that's not hard for us to come up with. And it just got me thinking, we need more hard drives. We need more hard drives because there are other recipes that we haven't unlocked that might be useful. And we have aluminum still in our future that is now unlocked, so we can get alternate recipes for it. And I want to go out and do some exploration. And what that really meant for me when I was thinking about it was, well, we could do a quick run out to like the Rocky Desert because it's a starting area and it's pretty easy to find cheap and easy hard drives. But Update 6 just came out, and Update 6 is the exploration update. And I was thinking, you know what? Sure, we can't actually code Update 6 without losing our time-lapse mod, but we can live without it, right? We could do that. It's a good time, I think, for us to switch over to Update 6 and actually take some time at looking at the new features for Update 6, like the new ammunition and maybe the radar towers, and there's all kinds of cool stuff. And we'll actually take some time and explore the map and give ourselves a bunch of hard drives. But we're not going to do that in a boring episode with just montages. No, what we're going to do is we're going to do it in a live stream. That's right, I'm going to live stream Satisfactory this Saturday, July 23rd at 4 p.m. Eastern. So instead of my usual live stream that I do for Heartspace Shipbreaker, instead we are going to dedicate it to Satisfactory. So it'd be great if you can come out and hang out with me while we run around the map, look for hard drives, try out the new ammunition, the changes in the way the creatures work, the new exploration tools, the new mapping tools, and just really kind of get a feel for Update 6 while we're collecting the hard drives so that we can get some better unlocks for the other projects we want to do going forward. So be sure to mark your calendar, come out and hang out with me on the 23rd, because the content of that live stream is not going to be brought into another episode. The episode after that is just going to say, hey, if you want to see how we got all these hard drives, go back and watch the live stream. So I think that's enough for now. We'll talk about that again in the outro to remind people who skipped over the intro. But I want to get to the job site because we have a lot to do today to get our oscillators up and running. All right, here we are back at the electronics hub, and we're not going to mess with the computer stuff over there today. What we're going to do is we're going to start utilizing all of that copper. Well, not all of it, because we're producing like, 960 per minute of our copper ingots. But I was thinking about it, and there is something I wanted to try to do. Now, when we were working on the other complex over there for the encased industrial beams, and we did all those little buildings that were across all the little plateaus, when I originally envisioned building in that area, there was something else I wanted to do that I kind of toyed with, but it just really didn't work out. And the reason was because the machines were too big. But I think I want to try it here because what we need to make is copper sheeting. Copper sheeting just requires constructors, and those are the smallest machines. So let's I guess let's right up here. I want to show you what I want to try to do. And I don't think it's going to work well as a time lapse, given that it works at all. But I want to give you the idea here and make sure we don't fall off the cliff. Let's just grab. Go to Zoop. What I want to do is I want to do a kind of cliffside cascading build. If that makes any sense. So I want to embed the machines in the cliff like this. And now that I think about it, to be honest, if this actually ends up working, you guys already know, because I assume that the thumbnail probably has already spoiled it. But let's go through the thought process anyway. We'll pretend like you don't already know what I don't already know. So I would like to do something like this, where we can build these into the cliff face. That one's probably out a little far, but this is, you get the idea, right? And it would be little islands placed throughout the cliff. And this is going to be a little weird because, we do basically everything else on the grid, on the global grid, and draw out to those locations. And, maybe we can get 4 in a place like this. And we would have to find a way of, working the conveyors between them. Not probably even too difficult, right? If we, let's see, here we get ourselves a splitter. And, of course, we're going to adhere to clipping rules as best as possible. Like, I'm not going to, this would not be acceptable. But we're doing this just for the illustration, right? I assume I'll tear all this out and reposition it 1,000 times. But this would have to be more or less clear of the rock so that it's kind of realistic. But we can end up bringing these down to another set like this. It's not going to reach on this one. We're doing it on the fly. But I think you get the idea. What are you doing? Would you build, please? Not asking for anything complex. All right, well, that one's not going to reach. That one will. And that's that's just going to be the thing. That's why I said a time lapse probably wouldn't work well for this. Because then we'll have to go, okay, well, that wouldn't reach. But we can bring it down to here, so maybe we bring one over here. Maybe we turn the corner a little bit. Do something like that. And then we have more of them down here. So, I want to get started on, oh, I almost didn't make that. But I want to get started on doing this, and I'm going to have to it's going to take forever because I'm going to have to build out all these, walking platforms. As long as I can get away with this and I don't have to do too much of those ramps. But, yeah, something like this I think will work pretty well. And the more I can sink them into the wall, the better. The platforms, so I don't want them to stick out too much. And we can do, supporting platforms underneath them. Let's look for our foundations. Inverted ramps, so something like this. And yeah, something like that, I think. Yeah, I think you get the idea. And of course, the other challenge is going to be getting the output, right? Because we don't want to have an entire platform out here for the mergers, to take the product out. So we'll probably have to do something maybe with lifts. We can lift them, to a unified area. But this is what I want to do. And, we could just make another building, but I don't want to. because we have this opportunity to do something different. And B, if we dedicate one of these belts at 480, I think, ingots per belt, that's like 24 machines. And I think that would be, it could be a boring stacked building, or maybe we can just have this whole place is littered with shelves of cascading machines. I think would be so cool. So let me get to experimenting with that and see if I can make it work. And yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And I will come back, because we got a lot to do still. And I think I've spent so much time explaining this that we have to get this moved on to getting the AI limiters up. As we mentioned, it's only going to take like 4 machines for AI limiters, so that's simple. We can tuck that away anywhere, and then we're going to find space down here. Maybe see if maybe that space right there is big enough for a manufacturing building for our crystal oscillators, and get that built. So let me see what I can pull off here, and if it doesn't work, then I probably will just delete this recording. All right. Time for the big reveal, which again is probably already in the thumbnail. 1, 2, 3, da-da-da! Oh man, that was so much work. Oh my goodness. Just trying to get them all, to cascade nicely and not kind of run into each other and make it look like they're not sticking out too far. Oh, yeah, I'm so pleased with this. It's so cool. They managed to string it over to the pillar and kind of wrap it around there, and it kind of comes back. Oh, this is so good. I love it. And I moved the tube here because it was on that platform where we needed the output to come down to. But yeah, I mean, it's so good. I'm so pleased with this. This is so much better than I expected. You love it when the vision comes together. So I colored all the buildings kind of, the copper color that we use. I also like how it kind of blends in with the color palette. And I went through and changed all of the lifts and the conveyors to that gray, kind of a dark gray, because it helps it blend in with the cliffside. I really wanted the machines to stick out more than anything else. I also came up with a solution for our output that I think was just wonderful. I was so happy with the way it came out. There we go. I want to get a good look at the kind of the underneath of how this goes. So as you can see, I have mergers under the platform, and they're not just floating, because that'd be kind of cheating, right? No, they're kind of embedded into the bottom of the platform, so that it kind of makes sense. This is a lot more realistic. So as you can see, they're kind of fastened into the platform that is anchoring it into the wall. And everything can just come down, goes into it, and it goes into one big merger chain. It goes all over the place. And eventually comes down through here, and does it come up there? Yeah, no, yeah, it comes right through here. It comes down to there, and it pops up to there. I lose my bearings here sitting on this. So that's going to come across. That comes across. They all merge together. They're all over the place, and then they pop out right here. So this is our eventual location for all of the incoming sheeting. And hopefully I haven't messed any of this up, because as you can see, we're not, it's not flowing yet. So if I messed anything up, it's going to be a real pain to get through here and fix it. Oh man. I know that I have everything set and powered though, because they're all yellow lights, which means they both have power and a recipe selected. So at least I know I didn't miss any of the machines, because I can see all the yellow lights. But I think what we need to do is not only start feeding it, because what we're going to do is we're going to just take out that conveyor right there and take a lift straight down, and we're going to plug it in. Where was I going to plug it in? I was going to plug it in behind that, I think it was. Yeah, it goes in there and then comes down, goes across and over. That's the way it works. So there's the initial splitter is going to be behind that. So we need to do that, and we also need to decide where we're going to put our 4 manufacture or assembly machines for the AI limiters. And again, if we look at AI limiter, there it was all the way down there. It's also going to need quick wire, which of course is easy for us to do over there because that's where the station's dropping it off. So probably, I don't know, maybe down in here, we look at the oscillator. The oscillator recipe is going to require rubber and the crystal that we're already making over here. So it can kind of come out anywhere around there. I think what we'll do is we will try to make it maybe in this area. Those buildings are temporary. Those machines have been there forever. I used them at some point to judge math and left them. So maybe we do a small building right there for assemblers, it's the 4 assemblers, and we can bring quick wire over and down. And then again, I think that our best area is going to be around about that area. Probably have to move the tube again and make a building large enough to house at least 4 machines for our oscillators. And that concludes our last time lapse for the foreseeable future. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you skipped the intro. All right, that being said, we have a problem. We have a kind of significant problem. So before we actually go through the tour here, we're going to talk about the problem because we can't actually activate all this until we kind of address it, sort of. So we have a problem, and that problem is quick wire. Now, last episode, we doubled up the manufacturing of our computers over here, which caused us to double up the manufacturing here of circuit boards. And that had a significant effect that I just really didn't math into it. Because I knew that we had enough material coming in, we didn't have to worry about it, that we could do it and not have to go back and deal with something else. And that was sort of, kind of true, but not really. Anyway, we stressed our quick wire more than I realized. Now, this building here, the 2 floors combined, are using 450 quick wire per minute. It's 37.5 per machine, 12 machines. So that's really stressing out just one Mark IV belt as it is. But adding on to that is that now that we're producing twice as many machines worth of computers, each computer is 105 quick wire each. That's another 420. That's a lot. That is 870 per minute. And we're not producing 870 per minute per station. And so right off, this is already over what would have been the 800 per minute that I thought we were supplying to one station. So that's bad. That's problem number 1. It wouldn't be such a big deal though, because we could merge the other station worth, which right now we're not even supplying. But we could merge it and do some, trickery to get the extra over. However, our new building here, the AI limiters, are going to use another 400 quick wire. That puts us at over 1200 quick wire. It's like 1270. So we are actually at a 70 quick wire per minute deficit, even if we merge and split to get the stuff from station 1, we'll call it station 1, the front station, it's right above us, to station number 2 to cover these. So regardless of the speed of the train, our facility over there isn't producing enough quick wire, regardless of whether or not the train's fast enough to deliver it. Which, by the way, the train is not fast enough to deliver it, but that's an easy fix. So we're going to first, before we do anything over here, we're going to go over to the quick wire facility. We're going to activate the second quick wire side. We didn't activate it before because we didn't have power back then. And we're going to get quick wire flowing right here so that we can get the quick wire down to there. And I think I hear the train and I want to ride the train. All right, so I will see you guys at the quick wire facility. Okay, this is a long ride, so I'm going to ride this around the map, and I will see you guys there. All right, here we are at quick wire. I've shut off the train because it's our ride out of here. We're not going to stick around for long. I'll do a quick refresher for those who were not here or did not see that episode, and make sure we have everything actually lined up. I think we have everything run. So this big old facility that we made at some point, we made it because we knew we'd need a lot of quick wire in the future. I didn't expect to go through all of it pretty much in one shot. But we never activated the other side because at the time we didn't have the power and we didn't have the need, so it was, save the power. It's such a cool facility. But I think, tentatively speaking, that we might have to come back and overclock the Caterium miners and double the size of this facility earlier than expected. All right, I think we just need to connect power. Oh yeah, we need to connect power to the miners. Right. So where's the pole? It's up there in the distance. There they go. So that should be, there's two normals there, so we should get 480 Caterium, raw Caterium ore coming down here, which will then go into the refineries to turn them into ingots at 12 ingots per minute. And then each one of them has a dedicated constructor that produces 60 quick wire per minute. And that requires us to have kind of some division of belting, because 5 of these machines is 300. So if we did all of the machines, it would be over the 480, and we wouldn't be able to do all of it on one belt. So we have to segment it up into quadrants. So the first 5 go down, the next 5 just go across, and they all meet up right here. See this coming under this little archway. It's so cool. Let me look down and make sure you can see the water below. And hopefully we're actually supplying water. Oh, did I roll the mouse wheel? Hang on. All right, there we go. Update 6, I believe, has a button to put away hand items, which is going to be awesome. All right. Yeah, it looks like we have water going for both of them, because that's going up there and over. Good deal. So we don't have to do anything else. All we had to do is just power that. And I just want to see it flow. There it is. And get a little bit of quick wire coming in to the station, because we're going to need it, at least for an initial little stock of it. All right, now with the quick wire sort of flowing, it'll start coming out momentarily. It'll run around here and head down to our AI building. But before we go to the AI building, we make a couple other connections. And what I want to do is just follow the flow of the manufacturing. So let's get our rubber. So we're only using 52.5 per minute. So a Mark 1 belt is sufficient. This will be our output for our oscillators. And the crystal quartz that we're going to need come from there. I think I actually want to paint that conveyor. There we go. Excellent. All right, so everything is flowing except for the copper, and that is going to require us to go up top. So let me meet you up there. All right, let's go ahead and shut down that line and get carried away by its other half. And let's get rid of these. Don't need them anymore. And we're going to need a Mark IV lift. Come into there. And we're just going to jump down. Let's see here. I want to try to get a better vantage point. Not fall to my death. Turn on our light. I think that's going to be as good as we're going to get. And whoop! Nope, nope. It helps if I'm running, if I'm going to do a running jump. There we go. All right, now this is probably the only place where we have a kind of a clipping issue, but can't really be helped, unfortunately. And let's get our copper. And paint that. Oh, no, wait a minute. That's not... we don't paint the... Yeah, we don't paint the belts copper. All right, so this is the inaugural run of this, and so far it looks like it's going pretty good. All right, yeah, it's all right. So it's going over, it's going down to the ones under us, and going across, and it's just going to slowly make its way through. It's going to take a little while for us to get any meaningful amount of copper sheeting out of it because we don't have any kind of load balancer. It's just run its own way through, and every single ingot is necessary to get the whole thing up and running. So it's going to take a long time for it to run at full speed. It's not a big deal. But look, we already have some making their way out, so let's follow those. Woohoo! Make sure I have run mode turned off. All right, I want to just run headlong off the cliff. All right, and this right here is just this one last guy because he couldn't really make the merge. We had to merge underneath because I can't do a downwards because of that rock. So that's fine. But what we did is we put them all into a lift. Oh, ow. And we're running them down here so that they're running along a wall belt. So I love these wall conveyors. Follow it around. This will be the AI limiters coming up and out of the building to feed into here. We can see the rubbers going in. And by the way, I didn't put a roof on this. Originally I was going to, right here, just like I did with this one. But after I built this and I came over here to start setting these things up and looked over here, I realized this looks like, like air conditioning units are on top of an industrial building. And I thought it was so cool I had to let it go. Oh, we already have AI limiter coming in. All right. I wanted to follow this chain, so let's hurry it up. Let's go down to, drop down to here. Oh, and I actually wanted to, let's do this. Give me that, please. Let's do it like this. Carve ourselves a door. We want it to go to the side. There we go, and I think that was the color we used. Hard to use. Okay, good. Perfect. Excellent. All right, so this will let us into the upper floor. And you saw all this being built, so you know how it goes. Of course, I went through and painted everything. But it looks like it's working because we already have AI limiters coming in. Excellent. Everything's run the right way. And the belts individually aren't that fast, right? 125, so Mark 1, Mark 2 belts. Not a lot of room to have them too slow. And oh, yeah, I love this. I love the colors. Came out beautifully. Nice and clean. See, I like this drop floor because we can actually see the products coming down. When we do the false floor coming up, I said drop floor, drop ceiling. When we bring them up, we don't get to see the stuff on the conveyors. So we might do this a little bit more often because this is just great to be able to watch all of this. And of course, it's all coming in slow right now, but it'll get caught up. Again, it's coming across and going over. And everything's coming in here. We should be getting, yep, we got the limiters, rubber, quartz, it's all coming along. It's powered, all right, it's nice and slow, but that's fine. And then once they're done, they will head back up to the roof. There goes one right there. Excellent. Green lights across the board. Excellent, excellent. I love this. I love this setup. This is so good. It's nice and clean. Bringing one into, from the floor length is just fine. Even painted all of these according to the products that are on them. And that means we should start seeing a few of them come over and into the container up there. I really need to get rid of these. And we'll just leave it to dead end. We're going to need to do some major work on our stations because we have products here that aren't going anywhere yet. They're kind of at the end of their line for now. And so I don't have them going up to, like we use these 3 right here to deliver things back home. Put that floor back in. I dropped down through the floor at one point. And I think that we're probably going to have to stop using this one as an output and use it as an input, probably for quick wire. So we have 3 quick wire stations coming in. And these are the ones that are going back home. But again, right now we don't have much going into them. And there are things that we need to send back home, like the overflow of the air limiters will need to come up here. The oscillators will need to come up here. Overflow of the crystal quartz will need to come up there and send all that stuff so it's available for us back at home. But speaking of home, I think that we're ready to go back. I think this is everything. Yeah, so we have oscillators are making it 7 so far. So let's head back home and let's wrap it up for this run. All right, we are back home. We can tell that we're back home because it's getting a little stuttery from all the foliage. Oh, wow, we got so much done today. So very much. We got our copper sheeting up and running, AI limiters, the oscillators. We activated the other side of our quick wire facility, and we discovered that we don't have enough quick wire. So yeah, wow, I mean, we got more done than, I didn't expect going into this episode that we were going to have to build another manufacturing building for the oscillators. Originally, I thought I was going to go to the computers. So we definitely crammed a lot in here, and I think we did it in a fairly decent time. I don't know how far over we are, but hopefully we're not too far over. So we're going to cut this outro short. I'm just going to reiterate what I said during the intro. This Saturday, we are going to have a live stream, so if you can, please show up. Would love to see you there. We're going to explore Update 6, and we're going to get a bunch of hard drives in the process. The things that we do during the live stream are not going to be included in the next episode. So you need to see the live stream if you want to see the collection of the hard drives and all those new features that we're going to explore that come along with Update 6. All right, all that being said, thank you so very much for coming out. And be sure to leave a like on your way out. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe, especially if you want to see the live stream. That way you'll be notified. I think you might have to hit the bell. I'm not really sure how all that works. But be sure to click all those buttons. Unless you're already subscribed, don't click the button because then it will unsubscribe you. And I hope very much to see you on Saturday, or at least see you in the next episode.